Well, it's just a few months ago, nearly two-thirds of Americans gave President Biden a failing grade on his handling of the economy. Now, the story is shifting, at least a little bit. A recent Quinnipiac poll showed President Biden's approval rating on the economy went up about 10 points between July and August. Latest numbers show his approval rating at 39% on the economy, disapproval rating still at 57%. So, Libby, the question is, will it be enough? Will the economy continue to improve over the next few months? And that's a question I put directly to the director of the White House Economic Council, Brian Deese. What can you tell us about these mixed signals we're getting on the economy?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, everything that we're experiencing is unique because we're coming out of a pandemic recession and pandemic economic crisis that forced our entire economy to shut down and come back, and we're dealing with unique global situations, the war in Ukraine and the impacts on global energy markets. All of this is unique. But I think to break it down, we are coming out of a historically strong economic recovery. So the labor market recovery, the rapid decline in unemployment, the rapid increase in people getting back into the labor market, all of those are unique. And what we're trying to navigate through here now is a transition to a more steady and stable growth with more predictable prices and prices coming down, but without having to give up all of the economic gains that we've made over the last 18 months. So that's the policy objective here. And people, I hope and expect, are seeing some of that benefit in their life, but we have more work to do.
And now you've talked about the many benefits of the Inflation Reduction Act, and you could have called it anything. I know the White House didn't pick the name of the bill, but it is called the Inflation Reduction Act. So shouldn't Americans expect to see inflation going down, and when should they expect to see it? When should they expect to see the actual benefits of this landmark legislation actually impacting their day-to-day lives?
Well, look, what Americans should expect is that this historic piece of legislation actually lowers some of the costs that they face in their day-to-day lives. And so here's when people should expect it. First, on health care. There are 13 million Americans who, starting next month, will receive letters from their insurers that because of the Inflation Reduction Act, the premiums that they have to pay for health insurance are going to stay low. That'll save families about $800 a year. Second, energy costs. A lot of families are focused on this. Gas prices are coming down, but other energy costs are up. The provisions in this legislation are going to lower families' utility bills and give them a whole new range of options that when they have to go out to buy anything from a refrigerator to a new heating system, they're going to get lower costs for more efficient appliances, more efficient elements for their homes and their businesses. That's going to lower costs as well. And then the third is on prescription drugs, where in addition to capping out-of-pocket costs at $2,000 for Medicare recipients, so that people don't have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars in prescription drug costs, this bill will finally let Medicare, as the largest purchaser of prescription drugs, actually negotiate for better prices. And so all of those things will mean that people will see impacts on the prices that they pay for things like healthcare and energy and prescription drugs. And at the end of the day, that was the goal of the legislation. I think we'll deliver on that.
That was Brian Deese, head of the White House Economic Council. I spoke to him earlier from our Newsies studio. And Libby, one thing that stood out was certainly no timeline on when we should expect those inflation numbers to come down.
Well, it has everyone wondering. I mean, it's there. No one has a crystal ball, especially at this complex economic moment.